Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Let's get it like this. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, make sure that you hit your notification bell. Put it on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content the gun is kicking. I appreciate all your support. I'm very humbled by it. So I wanted to talk about Cody Monster Taylor, right? If you guys recall, about a year and a half ago, man, there was a murder in New Folsom State Prison, and it was pretty vicious. You know, I thought, for my first perspective of it, was that it was a cowardice act. I thought it was cowardly done. Two individuals, man, murdered a guy in cold blood in the day room of the AdSeg building. Now, having been in AdSeg, which is another word for the hole, many times, I tripped on why these guys were even placed in close proximity, knowing that they were oppositions in the first place, you know. And there's been a lot of details that have been withheld and a lot of details that have been put out there by Cody Monster Taylor himself. Okay, now I seen a video a while back which really piqued my interest, which made me want to do this video and go back on this interview and play it in its full form for you guys, right? So first of all, Cody Monster Taylor is from the 805 area. Okay, he's, I believe, from Ventura or Oxnard, and that's Southern California. So you would think that him being who he is, he would be associated or affiliated with the Southsiders, but that's not the case. For whatever reason, he's on the other side, meaning he's non-active as far as, a general population gang, and he chose to join another gang, a dropout gang, Nuestra Cosa, which is an offshoot of the Northern Riders. Now, these guys, once they become from a dropout gang, a lot of them, do it just to have some kind of lismo and some people around them that are of like-mindedness. They still can't let the gangbanging mentality go, so they do what they do. There's a lot of guys that, once they get to the other side, the monster truly comes out in them. They feel like there's somebody now. They actually feel like they're carnal, or they're actually a prison organization rather than just a gang member. And it's a trip, the way these guys conduct themselves. I've seen several individuals that will bitch up and not be about that business and drop out from a dropout gang, right? And then I've seen guys that just go haywire, go crazy, and the psycho mentality comes out in them. Cody Monster Taylor can be considered that. He's now going on his second prison murder. He was convicted of this murder that he's going to discuss in this interview, and received a life sentence on top of what he was already incarcerated for. Just recently, he did another murder, or has been alleged to do another murder in New Folsom, the same prison which he did the first one. So what's basically happening nowadays in the California Department of Corrections, they're not giving you indeterminate shoes. They're not locking you up forever. You're getting to get a slap on the wrist. You're going to get life. If you already have life, you're going to get life, given life piggyback rights. And then you're going to be released right back out into that same yard to do it all over again. That's the case with this guy. Now, the first murder, like I said, was a cowardice act, I thought, because this guy was chained to a desk in the middle of a day room, and this guy and his co-defendant, which he's going to explain in this interview right here, tragically murdered this youngster. Now, this new murder that's happened, him and another co-defendant are alleged to have killed another guy on the yard because he was a sex offender. Now, at the same time, come to find out, quietly as it's kept, Monster Taylor's co-defendant had some of the same charges on his jacket. We've talked about that in the past. I've done a video. I was astounded, and it blew my mind, the mentality of what's going on. If you listen to this video I'm going to play right now, this guy's mind is all over the place. He truly thinks he's a super gangster, but he's been alleged to be a jailhouse snitch, okay, in the first murder. And this is the question I'm asking you. Is he a straight cold, stone cold killer gangster, or is he a jailhouse snitch just trying to get by and to impress his group or gang? Now, I have nothing bad personally to say about this guy other than I thought that first murder was done with cowardice. I thought, if you have an opposition, there's always been, and you got to understand the separation between general population and SNY or EOP or wherever they're at, right? The mentality is different. On general population, it's all about professionalism, standing up for what you believe in and your cause, but at the same time, doing it in a manner of respect. If you're gonna fight a gangster or even kill a gangster, you want him at his best, at his finest, at his hardest. You don't want him in a vulnerable position. Now, I understand the art of war. If you can catch him when you can catch him, that's cool. But in this case, man, I thought these guys premeditated this and did it in a cowardly fashion. Now, Cody Taylor, man, I think he's lost it. I think his mental, he has them black eyes. His mental is shot out. It's gone. He's already in a situation where he doesn't care anymore, and he's going to continue to do murder after murder if he's given the opportunity. Now, where the jailhouse snitch allegedly comes along, where people are saying, man, he was giving up the ghost, was when this first murder occurred that he's going to talk about here in a minute. There was a dry run that was done. And when you're in the hole, when you're in AdSeg, you're being monitored 24/7. You are to be watched from that tower. They're doing cell checks, count times. They pretty much eyes on you at all times because these are the worst of the worst. The guys that are in there are pretty much the guys that are getting off on the yard, are there for safety concerns or whatever the reason may be. It's funny that you get these guys from these dropout gangs and they get congregated together and they start to formulate plots and plans and feel like they're doing something, when at the end of the day, man, they are in a sensitive situation and they are there for their own protection. But they feel like they can push their weight around because they gather into a gaggle or a group and they start to extort people or press upon people who they feel are weaker. When at the end of the day, they're all in the same boat. Now, this guy has explained on a video clip, man, that I seen the other day that I'm not privileged enough to show right here, but he's talking about how the cops were in on it, how they let a dry run happen, how they knew what was going to happen. If you listen real close into this interview, he's going to talk about how 6 or 7 officers came to the door, seen what was going on, and how Big Brother, he keeps saying Big Brother, and I don't know who Big Brother is, gave him the nod, and they turned away and just let it go down and happen. Now, anytime you tell on anyone in jail, that's considered a jailhouse snitch, whether it's the opposition, it's other group segments, it's the K9, which are the COs. A snitch is a snitch. So this guy telling this story, basically saying that they gave him the go-ahead, or they let him do what they did, that's putting the cops in a position. Now, what a lot of people don't know about this case was one of the officers involved that had direct contact with this whole situation, the first murder, literally took his life, unalived himself, and it just leads to the story. Was he aware? Were these guys aware? Were they letting these guys get off on each other? Was this another form or fashion of gladiator wars, but having one in a vulnerable position and 2 others not? I don't know. Listening to this guy's story, he leaves a distaste in my mouth, in my mental. The psychopathic ways, just the way he talks and he brags and he acts like he's a super gangster. When at the same time in a different recording, he seemed a little bit more mellow. And when he spoke about the cops basically instigating it or letting them do this. Now, at the end of the day, man, it's a cool situation. I want you guys to listen very closely to the interview that was conducted with Cody Monster Taylor and just trip out on it, man. These are the type of videos that I bring you that are raw, real, and authentic as hell, man. So let's get to it, and then we'll talk about it at the end, man. Now, again, remember, this guy is on his second murder. This was his first one that he did a couple years ago. He's going to speak on. But subsequently, since then, he was released back to the yard after catching a life sentence for this first case and did it again. It's crazy. Let's go.
Hey, Monster right here. I'm coming out of 805 and shit. Coming from my gente out of California Department of Corrections, homeboy. You know how we do shit, active and attractive in this motherfucker. So, real quick, though, to all my oppositions, excuse this little few year delay and shit. I've been in Pelican Bay, just taking this case to the box, homeboy. So, just a little update, homie. There's a lot of shit that's going on, this and that, but it's nothing. It ain't nothing real, you know what I mean? So the update, real quick, was I was one of the last North Daniel riders, homie, that out of 2018, the books opened, and I was fortunate. They gave me that opportunity, to become a monster and shit, and very few who could really uphold this way of life. You feel me?
So one thing you notice is he's very proud to be part of what's considered a dropout gang, right? His mindset, his mentality is a second chance at being a gangster. I've always said, and no disrespect to the Northern Riders, I know there's some solid dudes doing whatever they do and believing in what they believe in, but I just question this guy's mentality. He feels like he said, man, the book's open and he had a chance to be integrated or brought into a mob, right? It's a mob mentality. It's like he's seeking validation from someone without seeking validation from the canine, if you understand what I'm saying.
To achieve such this realm, homeboy, I had to really disregard like any physical or mental plateau that was, kind of holding me back and shit. But the next few years, homie, they were very precisely calculated, to say the least, homie. So to the issues at hand, Flacco, it really started in 2019, man. And after a few Diablos and we pretty much made our thing and the presence known in Corcoran Zapato Foods, but they ended up separating us, homie, and sending me to New Folsom, which was B-Yard. It's a KP 180 level 4, but more precisely, homie, we opened up the California long-term restricted housing unit. Specifically D8 and shit, and it's a regular shoe, so pretty much, homie, like bottles from every walks of life, homie, and every security threat group, we started to occupy and fill up D8. But I was fortunate, homie, they gave me the opportunity, homie, to have my viejo from Bombay, from Tracy right there. He was side by side and in full capacity, but another brother of mine who
now, when he's saying the word viejo, I think he's referring to an older homie, a big homie, someone he looks up to. He doesn't mean like his old man or nothing like that for these guys that got their heads in a maniacal mind state, right?
He spent down a minute with me, and this fool, not only did he risk his life, homie, but he gave his life up. We have separate causes, in course, but it's loyalty. Because a nigga can love you all he wants, homie, and still fuck you over, but genuine loyalty, homie, that's really until the last breath, you know what I'm saying? So, obviously, homeboy, with all these alphas in this building, homeboy, tensions were high as fuck, let me tell you. So, in October of 2019, one active Moreno, I think he was a crib or some shit, this vato had to, he said some fuck shit regarding NC this or that, I couldn't remember to really tell you the specific words, but, instantly, homie, my Cody and we had to, set a demonstration, and we lit the vato up and, showed all these alpha males who was really active in the building and shit, but, we had this vato saying fuck his hood and, all of the above and shit,
So if you listen to the tone of his voice and what he's speaking on, he's boasting and bragging about laying a demo down, which, of course, man, when you put in work, everybody is doing it for a reason so everyone could see. And, but again, man, this guy, his life is so involved in the gang mentality, in, his cause, that he doesn't see people as people anymore. He sees them as a threat or as something, a speed bump, something to step over. It's crazy. This dude's wild.
Me and my Cody and my viejo dog, we started to orchestrate the next demo, homie. And before I get into any of the real details, there's a few aspects that really need to be presented, homie, just to clear up some shit. So my Cody, homie, that's my blood brother. I'm gonna leave his name out of this shit just due to I've yet to inquire just how he feels about this open line of communication and this channel, of the.
Which is a trip because he's going to leave his name out of it, yet he's going to go into detail of how this guy ultimately took another guy's life. It's just a trip, man, the way he thinks, It's that validation, again, of being a gangster, of that not telling or not snitching. I'm not going to say his name because we're cool, but I'm going to tell you the murder that he did. It's a trip.
Media or whatnot, so, and I'm currently unaware of the Vato's court status, so just out of respect, but my goon is a savage, bro, and to all the real G's out there, you know who he is, homie. And more importantly, for NC, bro, we ain't never and never will be clicked up with anybody. We do our thing, homie, and that's period. You know what I'm saying? So, my Cody, he did his full participation for him and his gente and his loyalty to me. You know what I'm saying? But it should be noted, homie, that this couldn't have transpired without, calculated moves by all three of us. Yeah.
So basically, I'm not going to say his name at all, but we couldn't have committed this murder without all three of us participating. Okay.
Hayes and my Cody. But last but not least, homie, I must address this vato, Mr. Green, homie. This fool decided to become state evidence, homie, and not only did he not participate in any capacity, bro, he became the district attorney's most credible informant. You know what I mean? And
no, I think you did, buddy. You could see one thing I need you to know is that while this murder investigation was going on, court status was still going on. This guy was talking about the incident.
He attempted to take responsibility and whatnot, and but this Moreno, bro, all this fool did was stay in his cell and hold our shit, bro, because we had to pass customs,
Yeah.
But all those dozens of documents, homeboy, and multiple interviews, bro, that's just all our rat facts. You know what I mean? Dude, the clown, homie. So as we prepare, homie, we first wanted these oppositions. We wanted them to get comfortable. You know what I mean? So, we gave them our palabra that NC ain't gonna bust, no nigga ain't cuss, or NC ain't gonna do this, or we could have separate day rooms, all that shit. But to bait a tuna fish, homeboy, we really had to be patient, and take it real slow. So as weeks passed, homie, we extended our grace, a little bit more, put some top ramen, put some Folgers on the line, just made them, just made them feel comfortable, homie, put all that shit on the hook and shit. But as the second month rolled in, bro, we had to create a real mob diversion, which street he's coming from Kearns Valley, the security threat group block, and so we had to create, fake letters, homie, basically implying like, hey, the guerra's over, so that was a little, it was a little rough, but, we had to do what we had to do, homie, to get these fools out there, bro, because nobody was coming out with us, you know what I mean? So we made the letters and shit, pretty much saying that, the war's over in the other institutions and everything's pretty much good, you know what I mean? So from right there, homie, the doors started to slowly open, and vatos, if you only knew, homie, how close we really got. But that's, that's another story, homie. So we had Big Bird, a homeboy, which was just a 12-inch desktop, homie, which was carefully designed just to really down it.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, homie, just to really down a nigga, to be honest, bro. But it was carefully designed for old boy, But anyhow, homie, we became best buddies, homie, and the day just begun. So as I'm praying, to the rolling gods and shit, hopefully these.
Listen to this guy's mentality. He's praying before he's going to take a life that nothing happens to him with any disregard for human life on the other side. It's crazy, the mentality, man. And I've seen it before, but this guy takes the cake, man. He's a little different.
Fools don't shoot my ass. I see these cats, homie, these ops, homie. This guy named Rascal, homeboy, from, I think he was from 47th South Central, but the doctor was a Cinquero, just a paseta, fool, and he drove by my path. We did.
It's peseta, but he says paseta, but, we're not critiquing here.
Little drive-by, but this doctor was I'm telling you, brand new zapatos, full brand new clothes, the whole 9 yards, homie. So instantly, bro, I get an ear-to-ear smile because I knew, bro, this fucker was going to hell. You know what I mean? He was dressed for a party, homie. So anyhow, as everybody was pretty much present on their door because everybody knew besides this fucker, So these fools had popcorn and snacks, and they were just at the windows, homie. So first, my goon, KS, homie, that fool took a hard left. Once we busted out the black box.
Let's think about it here. In the beginning, he said, I'm not going to say my co-defendant's name, and he just said it.
This fool hit the staircase, homie, and I told him, homie, but I was telling about the rascal, hey, it's going to be all right, buddy, don't worry. But, So about 6 staff members, I think 5 or 6, they try to open the section door, bro, but Big Bertha had something to say about it, you know, so they weren't invited to the party, fool, so they busted a U-turn, fool, and pretty much left old boy to suffer the consequences, bro. So as we get closer, homeboy, I pretty much pull up right behind, bro, and I bury Bertha deep, bro, like real deep, right where his heart beats, you know, and I just bottomed out, you know, like 10, 20, 30, you know, 40, 47 times, I think it was, but not to miss any details, homeboy, the canines, you know, they started to, you know, they were having a good old time shooting our ass, you know, so if one hits me, bro, one hits me right where the baby maker is, homie, from like 20 feet away, and finally, for once, the kid was packed, you know, homie, my shit was swollen, but let me tell you, Frost, that shit dropped me, bro. He took charge,
He said, finally, for once, the kid was packing. Man.
Homeboy, yeah, that shit hit me right in the baby maker, bro, but my Cody, he took charge, homie, and decimates the remainder of bruh's little heart, you know, and as the mini starts.
Now, meanwhile, he's telling the story. His co-defendant is still on trial for this case. I'm sure they played this interview several times.
To rack, fool. These fools are racking the mini by now, homie, and we start hiding behind the plexiglass, you know, but the shit's sticking up out the Vato's neck, bro. So as we're, you know, we jump out of the plexi, whack, and then we go back as the Vato reloads, you know, and go back and forth, and I'm telling my Cody, hey, fool, hit that Vato where his heart beats, homie. So finally, fool, we snatched the nigga's soul, bro. It's over, you know, and but Big Bertha, that shit ain't in my hand, homie. So by now there's no more shooting going on. But I take a little cup of blood, homie, that was on Bertha's shirt, and I can
listen to the psychomaniac thing that he does right here, man. It's crazy.
You know, I had to do it for the cameras, homie. I had to, you know, do the little Aztec war paint on my face and my killer Cody's face, homie, with the little blood shake, you know? And, but bro, we just getting started, homie. So, you know, as we're out there, homie, we out in the day room and shit. We pretty much just try to hold the motherfucker hostage, homie, because to be honest with you, we held it hostage for like another 14 minutes. But we were trying to be, you know, sure that there was.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, like no life-saving measures that could be revived, you know, so it was nothing personal to them, but, you know, they could come get that shit back in blood, you know what I mean? But, finally, homeboy, to be the honest, Vato was over, you know, it was over and whatnot, but the difference, homeboy, is, between real and fake G's over here, homie, we're not attempting to exhaust any type of diplomatic disputes, you know what I'm saying? And to all the real G's out there, you must be vigilant of these soft-ass fools because they got this fake-ass mafia type shit. You know, Kevin Gates said some shit a while back about him having 2 phones, bro. Like, yeah, we got 2 hoes, Chavez, you know what I mean? So, in conclusion, bro, to all my like-minded and like-hearted motherfuckers out there, onward, homeboy, with this beautiful struggle. And, I'm going to have to give an ANC shout-out to all my righteous viewers real quick, striving and pursuing this old-school lifestyle, homie.
He's about to say a whole bunch of names and put dudes on blast.
Big Sporty from TC, homie. Scrappy from San Ho, homie. Gangster Gold from Delcoto. Big Bomb Bass from Tracy. Papa John from Hayward. Baby Gangster from Merced. And you know, to whoever wanted, homie, you know where we at, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys pretty much heard that, man. That shit's crazy. You know, the guy, he has a different mentality now. Like I said, another interview was conducted where he said the officers that were there basically let him go on a dry run, knew what was going to happen and let him do this. You know, there's a lot of people judging this guy based on what he said. You know, what I heard right there was a psycho mentality, but also I heard someone who's crying out for help. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. I want to send a heartfelt condolence, man, to the guy who lost his life, to his family. You know, I hate to put it out there and kind of rehash what happened, man, but this is a glimpse into the mindset of Cody Monster Taylor, man. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.